it's in tune.
It's E minor or A minor? E minor, G. It goes. Yeah. Well. Oh no.
We'll figure something out.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. And I know, 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 I know. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. Anytime she goes away. That was completely off the clock. Yeah, we know. William, whatever y'all want to do with the house band start. Make it instrumental, no vocal. Y'all are next. That's all I got. I'm a one-trick pony, guys. I was gonna say instrumental, no vocal. Y'all go nuts.
you hear me? Yes. Welcome. All right. Welcome to whatever that thing says, Surprise Entertainment 2016. I love having a live band. Watch this. Yes. That's what I like. All right. So we're gonna... No, they weren't watching. Yeah. I like an attentive live band. There we go. Okay. And we do... No. Oh, okay. Well, a little bit harder. All right. Well, we'd like to welcome you here to the beautiful Youth Activities Building here at the lovely Bon Clarkin in Flat Rock, North Carolina. It is a beautiful region that we're in here on the edge of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And you have Biltmore not too far away. Biltmore is an extraordinary thing. If you didn't know, that's like the ultimate... Right. It's time to leave. Except for those that aren't supposed to leave. The Biltmore is like the most extraordinary bachelor pad. It is exquisite with the architecture, with the landscaping, with the elegance of it. And we decided we were going to go take a picnic up on the hillside overlooking the mansion itself. And as we were eating, an ant crawled into my paper plate, and you could see the deep disappointment in its eyes as it goes, "That's processed meat! Look around you! Does this look like a place where processed meat even belongs?" We are greatly, greatly disappointed in this kind of clientele around here. How the things have gone. All right, go back, everybody, go back. It's processed meat. But what the theme this year, marine biology. That's a great theme. I love taking children to the beach. I really do. Now, if they're too small, all they want to do is sit in the sand and eat the beach. That's all they want to do. So if you get a toddler is really great, especially one that has never seen the ocean before. There it is, stretching out before them as far as their eyes can see. And the great thing to do is to tell them, you do realize that the ocean changes its flavor every day. Sometimes it's like juicy juice. You like juicy juice. Sometimes it's like pineapple juice. Sometimes it's maybe like vanilla wafers. Something like that. Why don't you find out what is the flavor of today? Oh, it's salt. Oh, well, okay, wait a minute. Maybe it's salt and vinegar. You like those chips, right? Try it again. Oh, it's just salt. Okay, well, tell you what. We'll come back tomorrow, and we'll see what flavor it is tomorrow. Maybe it should have changed by then. But if you have a child in diapers, the ocean becomes a challenge for you. Because if the water level gets up to the diaper, it bloats to shocking sizes. Have you ever seen one of those? Of course, the diaper has no idea what's going on. To it, it's like a torpedoed submarine. Of inside, alarms are going off. What's wrong with this kid? And have you ever tried to change a diaper that weighed more than you do? You're dragging it off to the dumpster, and people think it's some pale, bloated sea life, and you're disposing of the body. And a couple goes by and it says, "Mildred, that happens to be an albino porpoise with ducks printed on it, and he just killed it." And you say, "No, it's just a diaper. That kid's all bladder." Now, can you imagine what it would be like if you were, say, a diaper engineer? Because somebody's got to have it. And I'd like to know what education you got. Did you go to MIT, Caltech? Where'd you go? Because I'm going to tell you, it's not enough. You can't be a diaper engineer unless you've had children and know what happens in the real world. And how do you introduce yourself? "Hi, my name is Fred. I'm a diaper engineer." "Oh, well, we've got a few words we'd like to talk to you about." You know, in aviation, In aviation, they have test pilots that go into jets, and they go around testing the envelope of the aircraft. I'd like to know who they use as test pilots for diapers, and what do they feed them? I don't want to be around for that one. Now, here we are among a group of homeschoolers, and homeschoolers are extraordinary. In our home, we are multilingual. Matter of fact, we've stumbled on some interesting languages. One is that of mumble. Mumble is one that you can't understand, but everybody seems to be able to speak. And there's another one, and it's called toothbrush. Now, that's an important one, because usually important commands are done late at night in the language of toothbrush, and all the kids can hear is ha 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 ha, and they look at me and I say, I don't know. We'll try that one again. If someone could master that one, which there are those that can master the art of toothbrush interpretation, that the UN could certainly benefit by that. And they say, what did that man say? I say, I don't know. I think he's speaking Korean. Well, could you brush your teeth and say it again? We've got an interpreter for that. All right, now, this isn't done free. So we have to have sponsors. And our first sponsor in this is, yes.
I do that, did it? Uh-oh. Yeah, it kind of went off. Okay, this portion of Surprise Entertainment is brought to you by Mortensen's Fermented Fish from Sweden.
Fermented fish.
Yes, this is a delicacy most Americans don't appreciate, especially after the first bite. Sure, it's shocking, but we call it curiously fishy. It does take some getting used to. Some may call it fetid, and others putrid, but we call it waiting for the right moment to serve that fish. Anyone can hurry and get fresh fish. We sock them away and let time do its toll. When you realize these fish are aged on the very shores where they were hatched, then you'll know it can't get any better. And those gag reflexes mean you're enjoying genuine fermented fish.
Fermented fish.
Don't let the recent investigation scare you. It happens a lot. No one has quite discovered the complete health benefits of fermented fish, but they're still looking for it. Surely something that tastes like that must have health benefits somewhere. Once again, that is Mortensen's Fermented Fish from Sweden.
Fermented fish.
So fishy, it'll keep you up at night.
All right. Now, remember, go buy you a few pounds of Mortensen's fermented fish tonight and let me know how it goes. All right, for our first act, we have that of the Flat City Rollers.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances.
Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stops his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack the odds till we take to the street for the kill, with the skill to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of a rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Rising up, straight to the top. Had the guts, got the glory. Went the distance, now I'm not gonna stop. Just a man and his will to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Countryside. New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic
Are we there? Yes, we are. Let's have a hand for the Flat City Rollers. Yes. Excellent, excellent. Just want to give you another tempting thing here, if at all possible, that of reminding you of that. Just for the sake of our sponsor, this part of the program. Now, I present to you, if you will, that of Mark Weaver's little brother, Clark.
Where's my brother? Hey, Mark. How are you? See, you thought I was a Cozort, didn't you? What you didn't realize is that for years, I have been Mark's little brother. Even his own family can't tell us apart. Even his wife has gotten confused from time to time. I don't know who to feel sorrier for. Probably Mark. Is anybody having fun this week? They're ready to go home. Now let me ask you a very serious question. Has anybody ever had trouble either getting to or getting home from RoundHouse? Raise your hand if you have ever had trouble before, during, or after RoundHouse. See, some of you haven't been here that long. Last year, we were down in the campground. And we've been down in the campground for years and years and years. And last year was even a bit worse than usual as far as the rain and the mud and everything else. But on one particular night, the rains descended and the floods came and the winds blew and our tent went with it. As a matter of fact, the poles splintered and the tarps had holes in them and the tent was dilapidated. And you know, we were staying in the end of the campground where it's furthest from the garbage bin. If you have never had to walk your tent and tarps from one end of the campground to the other, it is the greatest walk of shame you will ever endure. I'm standing there with a tarp, a 30-foot tarp, loaded down with a tent and everything else in it. Thankfully, we were able to get the supplies out. Walking it down the gravel road all the way to the dumpster. There's little kids following me behind, making sure that I don't leave anything. There's old men, sorry Steve, sitting at their campers looking at me and watching me go like, yep, there goes another one. So this year we're not camping. This year we're in Bigger Lodge. Now, Bigger Lodge is essentially the halfway house of RoundHouse. Because you're not far enough up the hill to be with all the good people. And you're too far up to be with all of your friends down in the campground, and they're not talking to you anymore. So you're stuck in the middle. And you know, it hurts. Because I don't know when we're getting out. We may be forever in halfway house horror. But alas, that's what happens when your tent goes to the garbage bin. So campers, don't lose your tent. Or find a buddy with a camper, one of the two. But you know, I was doing some thinking as we were preparing for things. And you know, we've got a lot of RoundHouse veterans that have been here for many years. And we've got some who are actually RoundHouse veterans who don't necessarily see themselves as such. And so what I want to do for just a minute is I want to help you to see certain things that may help you understand if you're a RoundHouse veteran. So you might be a RoundHouse veteran if oatmeal and squeaky shoes bring smiles to your faces at inopportune times. You might be a RoundHouse veteran if you lose your child for an hour and you don't mind. I've known parents that have lost their children for 4 days and it didn't bother them, as long as they were in the car when it was time to go home. As a matter of fact, some of them even preferred it because it cut the meal bill by 2/3. Of course, down in the campground, they're being eaten out of house and home, but the people in the lodge are happy. You might be a RoundHouse veteran if the only water activity you recognize at RoundHouse is camping. It was so bad last year, one family raised a barn when they got here this year. He was afraid his truck was going to wash away. You might be a veteran RoundHouser if you think RoundHouse is an episode mix between Survivor Man and a matrimonial agency. One tends to lead to the other. I don't know. Even I got caught in it. You might be a RoundHouse veteran if every adult that your children meet gets called aunt or uncle. My children have so many aunts and uncles, they're not sure who their real ones are. They walked up to one individual and said, "Uncle so-and-so," and he said, "Who are you?" You might be a RoundHouse veteran if you remember when the teens thought that challenging the dads to softball was a good idea. Let me illustrate to you how that one turned out. About 15 years ago, the teens got tired after a dozen years of being beaten by the dads year after year after year in volleyball, so they thought, let's do this. Let's put them out on a 350-foot-long softball field, and maybe they'll get tired and die. What they didn't think about was the fact that there were 3 men that played on softball teams on a regular basis. We started using 3 softballs just because we got tired of waiting on the kids to retrieve the last one. It was so bad they started bringing in the moms to run the bases. We couldn't have but a 2-inning game, because by then the score was 34-0. You might be a RoundHouse veteran if all of your stories when you sit around at night begin with, "You know, back at the old camp." And last but not least, you might be a RoundHouse veteran if you start having heart palpitations on Thursday morning thinking maybe they found a way to get you here for surprise entertainment this year. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me this afternoon. Thank you very much. I've been here all week.
Whoa! All right, let's have it again for Mark Weaver's little brother, wherever he is. Yes, we'll go ahead and have the next act come out, and we're going to have a slight complication here, but we'll work it through, because we're coming into our next sponsor for today. Y'all going to need to. Y'all going to have to take up a mic. Okay. I don't know. Just give us something. All right. Here.
Hey, Mom, what's for breakfast?
We have cereal, dear.
Oh, what kind of cereal?
Just the same grainy things that have been shredded or puffed or frosted or toasted or rolled or covered in honey or filled with some smashed fruity thing or shaped into circles or squares or mixed with dried fruit stuff or mixed with nuts and sprinkled with ambiguous colored objects and then coated in sugar.
Oh.
And we drowned it in milk.
Oh.
Are you tired of the same breakfast cereals offered by the same cereal companies? It might be time for you to leave the heartland of wheat, rice, barley, corn, and oats to a breakfast of high adventure on the seas. Yes, it is time for a change in breakfast. It is time for clumps of kelp.
Seaweed!
That's right. The makers of Clumps of Kelp have sailed the seas and scoured the ocean floors to bring you the world's best breakfast seaweed, just poured in your bowl.
Now that looks like a hearty breakfast.
Look, Mom, the kelp is shaped like sea monsters.
There's the kraken and a sea dragon.
Oh, look, that one is a sea serpent, and there's a Loch Ness monster.
That one is a giant squid attacking a ship.
And Godzilla.
Just add milk.
Look, it turned the milk green.
You're getting the best breakfast from the deep. When the milk turns green, it's time to eat.
It smells just like low tide.
Yum.
No substitute can bring the ocean to life in your breakfast bowl. Remember, Clumps of Kelp. There's no substitute. When your breakfast needs help, yelp for kelp.
All right, we need to. All right, it's with great pleasure that I introduce the next group as we get things in place. And you don't have to look at him, you can look at me. I'm doing nothing, though. All right. All right. Now I want to introduce to you the Appalachia Band.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and babies, how you doing? Oh, come on now, I think you're doing better than that. Let me hear you. There we go. All right, are you ready to hear an old-time favorite? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bottom cabbage down, bake them biscuits brown. The only song that I can sing is bottom cabbage down. Grandma had a muley cow, muley since she's born. Took a jaybird 30 years to fly from horn to horn. Raccoon has a bushy tail,
rabbit tail, no tell it all, just a little bitty bunch of hair. Bow them cabbage down, bake them biscuits brown. The only song that I can sing is bow them cabbage down. A raccoon in the symmetry, possum on the ground. A raccoon says to possum, shake him Simmons down. Bow them cabbage down, bake them biscuits brown. The only song that I can sing is bow them cabbage down. Wish I had a needle thread fine as I could sew my love to my sleeve and down the road I'd go. Bow them cabbage down, bake them biscuits brown. The only song that I can sing is bow them cabbage down. Went on to the mountaintop and gave my horn a blow. Thought I heard my pretty gal say, yonder comes my beau. Thank you very, very much. That's right, we are the Appalachia Band, and if you wonder where that name comes from, see, a lot of people around here don't call it like a lot of the folks out of the mountains. You see, a lot of y'all call it the Appalachian Mountains. Appalachian Mountains. That's not it. It's Appalachia. You talk to anybody from the Appalachian Mountains, it's the Appalachian Mountains. As a matter of fact, you ask the old timer sometimes, that's where we came up with a band name there. See, we wondered how it was pronounced. We asked the old timer one time, and he said, it's like I throw an Appalachia, and that's where we get our name. We got one more song for you. I think you all recognize it. And if you do, sing right along. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Appalachia Band, everybody. Very, very good. Now comes that point in time where we come to the more intellectual side of the show. David, if we could, we need to give, where is David? We need to give a microphone, mobile one, to the lovely and talented. Just pick one. I wasn't referring to you. Okay. And where be she? Okay. I'm going to now do what should be rather scary. All right. Now we're going to cover some philosophical questions. These are very, very important questions and things that you need to consider, and there can be some embarrassingly extravagant gifts associated with it, so act appropriately. All right. Now, do we have everything in place? I think we do, though I'm not sure. All right. Today's philosophical questions. We begin with, if a tree falls in a forest, as you very well know that one. If a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, we're not so concerned with that one as we are with, if a tree falls in the forest, but there are no other trees to hit it, could you really call it a forest? Yeah, okay. That one. All right, let's go to the next philosophical question. Where's my gift giver anyway?
Up here.
Okay, wow, I don't know where you are. Oh, fantastic. All right, I need you to find some volunteer.
Can we do Clark's older brother, Mark? Should we?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? All right, Nathan, we
Hey,
need you
Mark.
in place.
How are you?
Take
So good to see you.
the classy microphone. All right, so we go to the next philosophical question, and Mark, yes, it's all falling on you.
Lucky me.
All right, if a tree falls in a forest, wait, and hits a clown, would it sound funny? All right, now, we don't want a yes or no question. It's not yes or no, it's what sound does it make?
What sound does it make when
That's
the tree...
very good. Okay, show him what he wins. And he wins.
Chopsticks?
Okay, we need
goody.
that mic on.
Those are authentic wooden chopsticks stolen by Tony Rowe from the Happy Chinese Buffet.
Thank you.
They're stolen property, and they're ready to use for any Asian meal.
Thank you.
Okay, tell you what, why don't we share the loot with others around so it doesn't go to just Mark over there who really does deserve it. I'm not sure. wait, you can let him have that, but do we have any more? Are we going to be... Okay, great.
This is like socialism, right? You take it from me and give it to somebody else?
Yeah, just let other people enjoy the chopsticks. Okay, so... No, you can just keep that.
Oh, I keep it.
Yeah, all right, so select...
I want them.
All right. No, really, you can get rid of the other chopsticks.
Should I take out two?
Just don't hit anybody in the eye.
You're gonna poke somebody's eye out with that.
All right. Okay. All right, so for our next victim and our next question. All right, who are you going to select?
Mr. Keith.
Mr. Keith. Okay, if a tree falls in the forest, and it didn't make it on Facebook, wait, would it be the only thing that didn't make it on Facebook? Okay, and the answer is, okay, that's good. Yes, what does he get?
Oh, looks like you get a bag of fortune cookies.
All right.
These fortune cookies are wrapped in plastic. They're tasty and complete with your own personal fortunes and lucky lottery numbers. This, too, was pilfered from the Happy Chinese Buffet by Tony Rowe. Don't worry, he tips well.
Evidently.
All right, very good. Okay, so let's go through a couple of others here and we'll get some others. If a tree falls in the forest and kills a pessimist, can any good come from it? I say not only can nothing good come from it, but it's probably going to sound bad too. All the way around with the pessimist. All right, if a tree falls in the forest and crushes a box of breakfast cereal, would it snap, crackle, and pop? Okay, well, that deserves something for somebody. So who are we going to give it to?
Should we get unwilling or willing participants?
No. There's too many willing. We got to select somebody that's not so willing. So,
Mr. Brian?
all right, it is. All right, very good. What does Brian win off of that one?
He didn't do anything.
No, he didn't, but that's okay. We don't expect much.
Oh, looks like you got a Chinese soup spoon. Perfect for an
Fancy.
evening of eating egg drop soup or sweet and sour soup or anything that is somewhat soupy. This was borrowed by Mr. Tony Rowe from the Happy China Chinese Buffet. Keep this one close, they might want it back.
All right, yeah. You're out of state, so you should be okay. Yeah, all right. So we continue on with, if a tree falls in the forest and hits a choir, would it make a joyful noise? I don't know. Perhaps it would. Perhaps it would. All right. If an apple tree falls in the forest, would it make an eye noise? Good question, that one. These are a tad too deep for me. If a tree falls in a Star Trek episode, would it fall within the first 3 minutes and kill a man wearing a red shirt? I think we're too predictable on this. Am I in your way? No. You're getting the back of my head? All right, so we go to this one. If a tree, we might as well find somebody else, for our next one. So who is it? Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Bradley Cobb.
All right, okay. All right, if a tree falls in the forest, next to a horse led to water who was sweeping something under a rug that had a bee in its bonnet, would it sound like a mixed metaphor?
Moo.
That's right, go! Okay, what does he win?
Oh, you get a bag of MSG. That's right. Your own 1 pound bag of monosodium glutamate. Yes. Mr. Tony wandered into the kitchen of the Happy China Chinese Buffet and took this bag of genuine MSG. Don't worry, the cooks think he's a health inspector.
Yes, and all right, so much for Tony. All right, so, okay, let's continue on. If a tree falls in the forest and hits Nietzsche, Tchaikovsky, and a gnome, would it make the sound of those silent letters? I think it's about time that somebody heard those silent letters, if you ask me. All right, if a tree falls in the forest and hits someone with aphasia, okay, there we're getting into obscurity, hits someone with aphasia, would it suddenly forget what sound it was supposed to make? Okay, probably. If a tree falls in the forest and crushes the director Peter Jackson, must there be 3 movies to depict it, followed by extended versions? There's not a single thing that man doesn't do. I'm surprised he doesn't have triplets. All right, so now thank you everybody. I hope you enjoyed your embarrassing gifts. And they are stolen property, so watch out for that. All right, so we go now to our next act. That was today's philosophical questions. The Parkers.
Read you all a story, but this is not a bedtime story. I know that many of you are asleep, so this is a fairy tale, but not a bedtime story. All right? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a handsome prince. I said, once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a handsome prince. There lived a handsome prince.
He's not here yet.
What do you mean?
Well, this land is far, far away. It takes him a little while to get here.
Well, what'd I do until then? Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side of the forest, inside a deep, dark cave, there lived a wolf.
Wait, me? No, I'm not a wolf. Oh, you said the other side of the forest.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. As I was saying, on the other side of the forest, there lived a wolf.
The prince is here now. Are you ready to talk about him yet, or should I tell him to wait outside?
Well, let me tell the audience about the wolf first.
Well,
I've already started that.
Well, technically you started telling about the prince first. He just wasn't here. So then you started telling about the wolf.
Just tell him to wait a second and I'll be right with him.
He said to hold your horses. He'll get to your part in a minute.
As I was saying, on the other side of the forest, there lived a wolf. Where'd the wolf go?
In a few minutes.
Tell me one more time.
He was bored and getting hungry, so he told me to just tell you to circle back around to him in a few minutes.
But I can't. Once upon a time, in a nearby kingdom, there dwelt a handsome prince. Come on, where is he?
He said he's not coming out. You hurt his feelings. He thought he was the star of the show, but you'd rather spend time talking about the wolf, the villain. Oh, yeah, and then you yelled at him.
I didn't yell at him, you did.
I say potato, you say potato.
We're running out of time. We need to start this story.
Just tell them more about the mangy wolf. You love him more anyway.
I don't love the wolf. You just weren't here, so I had to start somewhere.
Oh, fine. It's bad enough I always have to be the bad guy, but even bad characters need love. Why don't you love me? Why doesn't anybody love me? I'm just going back to my deep, dark cave, and I'm never coming out.
Wait, no, so sorry. You have to come out. I mean, it's part of the story. You go into the town, you capture the young child, then the prince has to come tell you to find her, and then he comes out and he rescues her.
Hold up, stop. You're ruining everything. You're telling the whole story.
What?
What am I supposed to do now? You told him everything that happens. Oh, just forget it. Go ahead and skip to the middle.
I can't do that. They'll be all confused.
Well, I'm not starting over because you've already told them what happened.
Okay, give me a sec. Okay, I'll just start here. This looks like a good place. Let's see. The wolf's lair lay across the forgotten fields, beyond the miry swamp, and deep within the enchanted forest.
Hold up. I'm drawing a map.
What?
Would you say that's closer to the bottomless bog or near the fairy glade?
I'm not sure.
Oh, never mind. You're saving me a lot of time and trouble. Thanks.
I thought narrators were supposed to be impartial observers. You sure do seem to be stacking the deck against the wolf.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, here he is trying to hide out, and you take all the challenge out of it by telling us exactly where his hideout is.
You told them where my hideout was?
No, not exactly. I'm just reading the story.
Oh, great. Who else you tell?
Everybody, I guess. Let's see. I wasn't trying to give anything away or bias the story against you. I'm just reading the story.
But you've got the book, so that makes you kind of omniscient, doesn't it? It doesn't really seem fair.
My job is just to tell the story, okay? I don't decide what's fair and what's not. Speaking of the story, now where was I?
Just skip to the good part.
What's the good part?
It's where the ruggedly handsome prince and the mangy wolf meet in deadly combat.
Now wait just a minute.
It's where the bloodthirsty villagers tie up the wolf and carry him into the village.
What? You've got me all wrong.
Okay, wait just a minute. Let me see that book. What is this story rated anyway? I'm not sure my son is old enough to participate in this.
He really has no say in the matter, ma'am. It's all right here.
Well, I think it's getting pretty violent. Let me see. Is there any vulgar language in this?
Well, no, but we haven't really done a tiny bit of the dialogue yet, so it really doesn't matter, I guess.
Oh, Mom, it'll be fine. Just please let him get on with it.
Okay, but I've got my eye on you,
We'll
mister.
never even make it up to PG. Just let me continue, please. Now, where was I? The poor little girl sat scared and alone, shivering inside the deep, dark, cold cave.
What? Me? I'm not scared. I hang out here a lot. I just talked to you a few minutes ago. Wolfie's a great guy. I don't know why I hate him so much.
I don't hate him!
Well, you sure don't love him.
As the poor girl sat alone in the cave, she heard a sound outside. Outside the cave, the brave, handsome prince stood alone, staring into the darkness. What are you doing here? He's supposed to be alone.
I wasn't about to leave him alone, wandering through the dark forest all by himself. He's only a boy. I mean, there are wolves around here.
What's that supposed to mean?
What do you think she means? Wolves are evil. I don't get why the narrator loves you so much.
I don't love him. I mean, I'm an impartial narrator, okay? My feelings don't matter anyhow.
Well, you treat us like ours don't either.
Yeah!
Let's just stick to the story. Meanwhile, the angry villagers of the town heard of the wolf slayer. They grabbed their pitchforks and torches and headed towards the cave.
Am I late?
Where's everybody else?
They were busy. It's bingo and trivia night at the tavern.
Unbelievable.
Don't worry, I got it covered. I heard Wolf's not even that bad of a guy anyway. It's just that you narrators keep hating on him so much.
He kidnapped a little girl, and he dragged her to his cave.
Yeah, I guess there is that. But he's really only trying to live up to the stereotypes that society, a.k.a. you, have forced on him.
Yeah!
Okay, that does it. I quit. Let's see how you can do without the narrator.
That's fine. Your part isn't even that important anyway.
Well, what do we do now?
Does anyone remember where we are in the story?
Oh, somewhere near the end, I hope.
When do we know when it's over? I'll be victorious, and you'll be safe at home, I guess.
What about me?
Well, in some stories, you die.
No.
And sometimes you're just outsmarted.
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Hey! Well, sometimes the villain just disappears.
I like that one. See ya.
Well, it's getting dark. I better head home. We'll walk you there. I told you we could do it without that narrator guy.
And so we did. The end.
All right, everybody. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The Parkers, thank you very much. All right, I think if I advance this correctly, we go to, yes, I just want to remind you of our current sponsor for this portion of the show. Now, I've been watching professional bull riding, and there's something rather curious about it. You know, if you've ever seen any kind of sportscast, they always show you the photos of the athletes or whoever's participating, especially when they're trying to introduce before the game. And you can tell something about the game just by the photos of the players themselves. Such as in golf, it is. In baseball, it's. In football, it's. But in professional bull riding, it's. I think what happens is you have someone relatively naive who's convinced to get on for the first time, and after that they're dazed. Oh, would you like to go again? Okay. And for the bull, of course, is put into the ring. Put into a pin, and the rider gets on top. And you know the bull is thinking, this is not going to go well for you. You know the bull is thinking, someone had to tell you I'm a horse for you to get on there. I hope you like dirt, because that's what you're going to be tasting pretty soon. I think bull riding, professional bull riding, is very much like going against the 1985 Chicago Bears alone. And people are wondering, They're wondering how many seconds is he going to survive this thing. Oh, it's 3. Well, that was better than last time. Now he gets up and he does it again. Now, professional bull riders have one thing going for them, and that is that the bull hates the clown worse than them. Matter of fact, that's the only enjoyment that the bull gets, is that he gets to go chase a rodeo clown for a while. And it would go something like this in the bull's mind. Get off my back, get off my back, get off my back. Kill the clown, kill the clown, kill the clown, kill the clown. Now, clowns don't get a whole lot of respect, I realize that. But, you know, the professional rodeo clowns call themselves bullfighters, yet you're dressed like a clown. Don't you think it's a tad bit creepy? Suppose you had surgeons that they dressed up as clowns. Would you trust them? I don't think you would. Oh, no, we're surgeons. We're not clown surgeons. We're surgeons. Now, if we were to incorporate rodeo clowns into, say, Mexican bullfighting, the bull would come out saying, "You with the cape, I'll be with you in a minute. I'm going to kill the clown." Knock-knock jokes are dangerous. If you don't realize that, you need to know it now. Knock-knock jokes are extraordinarily dangerous things because let's look at it logically. Here we go. Someone imagines a door and then says knock, knock, waiting for someone to respond, "Who's there?" Whereupon you give them a false name. They repeat the false name with a who, then you give them a really bad pun, and you don't get through the door. Is this not psychotic? I would think this is crazy behavior. Now, suppose you go knock, knock, and they say, "Come in." What do you do now? Because I know I'm not prepared for that. I think this is a bad plan. Now, knock-knock jokes do complicate my day. Matter of fact, they're adding more work to my work day. Because here I am working, and all of a sudden someone goes knock, knock. Okay, you're wanting me to answer a door that didn't exist 2 seconds ago. How is this my responsibility? Knock, knock. No, wait. I'm not answering that door. No, knock, knock. No, I'm not. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to add your responsibility. Ring, ring. Answer the phone. Ring, ring. Now, if you want to save yourself some embarrassment, what you do, and I have a solution for any kind of potential embarrassment. What you do, next time you want to give a knock, knock joke, you're pretending the door is there. You're just imagining it's there. Now, imagine it unlocked. So you just walk through the door, and when someone says, "What are you doing?" you're saying, "I'm just avoiding a knock-knock joke. Thank me." All right, now, our next performer is that of none other than, and give it up for Tim Dixon.
There it is. Howdy, y'all. I think you need a little culture now. Hang on just a minute. Let me get this. Hold on. Set it right over here. Just like that. Thank you. Is this thing on? We'll get to that in a little bit. So, glad to be here in the little town of RoundHouse. Flat Rock, that's it. Y'all been studying about sea creatures this week, huh? What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish. Fish. That was funny. Tell you what, I'll teach y'all. What do you get when you cross a joke with a rhetorical question? I know some of you mothers out here are grammar Nazis. I'm going to comfort you. There. Somebody's laughing back there. Hey, you know, you got your universal remotes that are in your house. First time I saw one of those, I thought, man, this changes everything. That was funny. Recently decided to sell my vacuum cleaner. All it was doing was sitting over there gathering dust. Sometimes people say I'm condescending. It means I talk down to people. That was funny too. Ladies, raise your hand if one of your primary jobs around the house is laundry. Raise your hand now if you actually make your kids do it. Oh, okay, it's about the same number. Raise your hand now if you just, instead of folding it, you just restart the dryer. 3 times? In a row? That's what I thought. I heard they got this thing called Pinterest. How many of you own Pinterest? Uh-huh. I heard that was created by a group of grown men who want to trick women into cooking and cleaning and working out. When will all these rhetorical questions end? You know what? You can learn a lot about somebody if you take the time to inject them with sodium pentothal. Ladies, raise your hand if you recognize that cleaning the house sometimes is like brushing your teeth with Oreos. Uh-huh. Yep. I know a guy who's addicted to brake fluid, but he says he can quit anytime. He can stop. There you go. Women shouldn't have children after 35, really. 35 children's enough. I used to be in a band called Missing Cat. Maybe you've seen our posters around. Oh, so you've been confused enough by all the fairy tales. I'll go ahead and make the matters worse. My kids complain about my bedtime stories sometimes. One night I began to talk about the 3 bears. They said, Dad, don't give us any of that bear jazz. I don't believe those bears were real, and Rapunzel was weird, and Jack never had a beanstalk that long, and Jasmine stole that magic carpet from the genie. So I switched things up on them. They've been watching too much Disney anyway. I told them a story about the P Little Thrigs. You heard that one? Once upon a time, there were P Little Thrigs. The first of these P Little Thrigs was walking down the road, and he saw a man riding a wagon. And he said, Hey, mister, would you sell me that straw to law? He said, I want to build me a house. I want to build me a horse house. So he got the straw, and he built him a horse house, and along came the big bad wolf, and he said, Hey, Piddly, let me in. Piddly says, Not by the chair of my henny hen hen. The big bad wolf said, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll hoe your blouse down. So he huffed and he puffed and he hoed his blouse down and he ate up the Piddly. Then the second of the P Little Thrigs went off down the road and he saw another man riding a wagon. And he said, Hey, mister, would you sell me that stow to licks? I want to build me a house. I want to build me a hickst house. So he
built him a stouse out of hicks. And along came the big wad wolf, and he said, "Hey, Piddly, let me in." Piddly says, "Not by the chair of my henny and hen." The big wad wolf said, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll hoe your blouse down." So he huffed and he puffed and he hoed his blouse down and he ate up the Piddly. Now the third of the P little thrigs, he was a little smarter than the other two. He went off down the road and he saw another man wagging a riding, wigging a rodin. He said, "Hey, mister, would you sell me that brood of licks? I want to hild me a blouse. I want to build me a hick brouse." So he built him a blouse out of hicks. And along came the big wad wolf and he said, "Hey, Piddly, let me in." Piddly says, "Not by the chair of my henny hen hen." The big wad wolf says, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll hoe your blouse down." So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he couldn't hold his blouse down. After about 15 minutes, big wad wolf poked his head in the window and he said, "All right, Piddly, you're absolutely rude. I can't hold your blouse down." But he thought to himself, "I'll fix him. I'll climb up on the roof and I'll chide down the slimney." So he climbed up on the roof and he chid down the slimney. But the first of the P little thrigs, he was smart and he knew what was going on, and he went in the kitchen and got him a great big pot of boiling hot hotter. So he put that great big pot of boiling hot hotter over the fireplace, and as soon as the big wad wolf hit that hot hotter, he said, "Ouch." He said, "That's extremely painful to a big wad wolf's moodiest glaximus." So the third of the P little thrigs went in the kitchen and he got him a real sharp knife. And he cut that big wad wolf open and he got his two little brothers out, and they had big wad wolf stew that night, and it was real good. And they danced and sang, and the P little thrigs lived heavily after happwards. And then I tell them about Rindercellar. Once upon a time, in a corn country, there lived a beautiful girl, and her name was Rindercellar. Now, Rindercellar lived with her mugly other and two sad blisters. Also in this same corn country, there was a very pransome hench. Not the same pransome hench we had a while ago. Now, this pransome hench was going to have a fancy fall, and he invited the people from miles around, especially the pitch people. Now, Rindercellar's mugly other and her two sad blisters, they went out to buy some drancy fesses to wear to this fancy fall, but Rindercellar couldn't go because all she had to wear was some old ruddy dags. So finally, the night of the fancy fall arrived, and Rindercellar couldn't go, so she just sat down and tried. She sat right down there and tried. And she was kitting there trying when all at once there appeared before her Gary Mudfather. And he touched her with his magic wand, and he turned a pouring jumpkin and 6 mite wice into a 6 boach and Hicks White's sources to take her to the fancy fall. But he said, "Now, Rindercellar, you be sure and run home before midnight, or I'll turn you into a pumpkin." So when Rindercellar arrived at the fancy fall, this pransome hench met her at the door because he'd been watching all this time behind a wooden window. And Rindercellar and the pransome hench danced all night, and they lell and fuv. And all at once, the mid-clock struck night. And Rindercellar staced down the rares, and just as she beached the rod of 'em, she slopped her slash dripper. So the next day, this pransome hench went all over this corn country looking for the beautiful girl who had glopped her slash dripper. And finally, he came to Rindercellar's house. Well, he tried it on her mugly other, and it fitted it. And then he tried it on her two sugly isters, and it fitted it. And then he tried it on Rindercellar, and it fitted it. And it was exactly the sight rise. So they got married and lived heavily after happwards. Now, the story of the story is this: if you go to a fancy fall and you want to have a Pransom Hints all in love with you, don't forget to glop your slash stripper. Oh, for this next number, I'm going to call out a couple of people to help me. Stephen, can you come out? And who else? Let's see. Andrew Richardson, where are you? There he is. Come on up here. I like it. All right, you stand right here. You stand on the other side over here. There we go. All right, you ready? Y'all all know this one. If you know it, sing along, okay? I miss you so much, the taters need picking, the corn in the field, it needs picking now. How well I remember the first time I saw you, Lou looks so pretty pulling that plow. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? Well, I've searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. You took off your leg, your wig, and your eyeglass. You should have seen the look on my face. I wanted to kiss, I wanted to hug you, but you were scattered all over the place. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I've searched the world over and thought I'd found true love. You met another and you were gone. The noises you made at our supper table, your habits, my dear, were simply absurd. How many times do I have to tell you, soup is a dish to be seen and not heard? Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. You had 6 kids and I had 11. We had 8 more just a blooming like flowers. I wish you'd come back and help me, my darling. Your kids and my kids are beating up ours. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I'd found true love. You met another and you were gone. Remember the night we were going into town, dear, and you came and asked me if your lipstick was smeared. Now you got so mad 'cause I told the truth, dear. I can't see your lipstick through your mustache and beard. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. You had funny ways, there's no doubt about it. You let your 2 feet hang out of the bed. And when I asked you the reason you did it, I don't want cold feet in my bed, you said. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you were gone. When I told you I had thoughts of retiring, when I reached the age of 70, you said I'd get tired of rocking and thinking maybe at 80 I'd start work again. Where, oh where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? another and you were gone. And then one verse for RoundHouse. You remember, no, wait a minute, hang on. Remember the night that I couldn't find you. You disappeared from Convocation Hall. That's hard to put into a verse with that long of a word. In case you forgot, I'd like to remind you. Found you at RoundHouse with all of y'all. Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You met another and you was gone. Thank you.
Yes. All right, then. I would like all those who participate in surprise entertainment, all the entertainers, come on up here. Let's give a bow for everybody. Everybody come on up. And there's quite a number that were here for surprise entertainment. And while they're doing that, I just want to give you campers a little bit of advice. All right, remember the rule concerning snakes because you're going to need it. Perhaps you never know. And of course, you've probably heard it before. And that is, let's see, what's the colors? How does it go? Red touching yellow can kill a fellow. Yellow touching black, yeah, that's a bumblebee. All right, let's give a bow and clap for these wonderful people. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's bow again. It's going to be hard to switch gears. I have an announcement. Yeah, I know. Doesn't it? That's like I should make someone else do it, actually. Okay, what was I supposed to say anyway? Yes. All right, hang on. I got to find what it was. I don't know. It was, if I can find my... Talk about anticlimactic. All right, just remember that after 4 p.m., which is not too far away, after 4 p.m. today, the Patrick Room will not be available to RoundHouse, so please stay out of the room after that time. Vendors and used curriculum displays need to be removed by 4 today. The Lodge Kitchen is still available for use until 10 for, tomorrow morning, and I don't know anything else. Anything else that needs to be said? Okay. All right, mother-daughter volleyball starting now, I suppose. Disc golf tournament. And, yes. Yeah, Aaron.
If you have pictures to get to Eddie Cosworth, we can do that now. You can bring them to me, you can bring them to her. And remember that if you do want a copy of the DVDs from this year, you can still order them. See me, see Mom. After that performance, you don't want them, but anyway.
All right, nothing else? Yes? Okay, pizza supper at 4:30. Anything else? All right, that is that. Thank you, everybody.
like that table.